Hey guys, it's the Gundam Boy, and today we're going to be recreating the Doomslayer in Helldivers 2. So let's start with the easy part, making his outfit. For the armor set, I'd actually recommend the Twig Snapper because it's the best looking one, and it provides peak physique. This is to mimic his raw strength and his ability to handle guns. For the helmet, I'm using Bleeding Edge because if you just squint enough, it looks like the Doomslayer. And then we have the Per Democraz, this cape. You can either use the medium armor, or you can use something like the Predator, but I personally prefer using the Twig Snapper. So let's take a look at his weapon choices, and he has quite a few weapons that he can store in his magical butt pocket. Like, where the hell do you even put the Unmaker? Like, Helldivers can only realistically carry 4 things, and that's not enough. And sometimes a support weapon has a backpack that also takes up a spot. We won't have too many weapons that are exactly like the Doomslayers, because we're like the dollar store version of them, but I have some options for us. I can say that our super shotgun is definitely going to be the Bushwhacker, for very obvious reasons. And redundancies be favored because there's another shotgun called the Combat Shotgun, which you could use something like the Punisher.
Oh, but god!
And I'd recommend getting the full choke on the shotgun so that you can decrease its bullet spread. I haven't done that yet because I haven't touched this gun in forever. You can also say the variable is a pretty close recreation of the Doom Guy shotgun because in Doom Eternal, it does have the ability to swap between kind of a fire mode. Like by replacing the whole barrel. For the plasma gun, we have very obvious options like the Scorcher or the Purifier. I think for the heavy cannon, you can go 2 ways about it. You can either use something like the Liberator Penetrator as a primary, or you could use something like the HMG, which I think holds more of the personality of the heavy cannon with that extra bang. A weapon that I can't find the comparison for would be something like the chain gun, because we just don't have a minigun in Helldivers. You could argue Stalwart, but I don't think it does it justice, so For the rocket launcher, this should be easy, because we could use something like Commando. And in place of the Ballista, we could use Railgun. And unfortunately, there's not too many weapons that I would say could fit the BFG role. That big anti-tank annihilating group enemy weapon. My heart would say the Epoch, but my mind knows that it's not because, the gun's kinda It has a damage of 800, but its blast radius of this weapon does not do the BFG any justice. You might as well chuck a piece of dynamite at them. If it was ever given more damage and a bigger blast radius, then I could see this gun being kind of a BFG. We don't have anything that's too comparable to it, but if you're just looking for something like an anti-tank weapon to fulfill that role, we have the Quasar Cannon, but even that Quasar Cannon doesn't do the whole giant annihilate crowd thing. Maybe the Ultimatum was a better option. Melee, well, that's obvious. We just punch the shit out of them. We don't have anything cool enough to be a Crucible, and we don't have anything like a chainsaw. We do have his sword, but it does limit you to what you can fight with it. He does have an ability called Flame Belch, which lets you shoot fire, which you could probably use that in place of the Crisper. And I might be cheating on this last part, but for a stratagem you could use the HMG because, the HMG emplacement, because there's a few segments in their new Doom game where their Doomslayer's just rocking it on a machine gun turret. So we can totally use that as a stratagem slot item. But the most important part of this loadout is gonna have to be the Warp Pack, because that will let you mimic the Doom Guy's movement, even functioning as a melee option. But the Doom Guy is a pretty versatile loadout, which has a lot of options for each faction. And for the last stratagem, it's honestly up to you what you want to use. Any red will do fine. I don't think the Doomslayer has anything specific for a red stratagem that would make sense, but it's okay. I use Orbital Precision Strike. But that is the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and bye.